Steven Portillo with SSurge Media here. We're going to cover all the Premier League games that happened this weekend. Manchester United with a 2-0 defeat to Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. Glazer's side extend a club record 8 matches unbeaten away from home in the Premier League, thanks to Mateta's second half double. What is going on with Manchester United? Manchester United, at the moment, they're just embarrassing to watch. Just complete embarrassing. It's a shame, with a top, team, Manchester United, with these stars in the team, performing way worse than they have even under Ole Gunnar and under Ten Hag. United lose week in, week out, draw week in, week out. And Manchester United, people are going to blame the managers. People are going to blame the players. For me, I blame the players. I blame the higher-ups. I don't think it's a manager, because if it was a manager, it would have been solved by now. United has gone through so many managers over the year with Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar, same with, I forgot his name. I'll just skip past, but they went through so many managers. It's not a manager issue. And for me, I really do like Ruben Almiron. He was linked to Liverpool earlier in the season before the season actually started, with Jurgen Klopp already saying he's leaving, but then they picked out Arne Slot. And I was a bit skeptical because I did like Ruben Almiron. I like what he did with Sporting, and I was like, maybe they'll sign Victor Gyokeres, because I knew him before I knew him when he was in Brighton. So he performed really good last season for Sporting, and then this season, he's kind of dropping a little bit on form since Ruben Almiron has left Sporting, but he's still a top striker, a really good striker, and I don't think Ruben Almiron is the problem for Manchester United. He did sign a long-term deal with them, but I do believe that he will transform the club. It's just going to take time, and I think one of the things that he has to do is get rid of all that deadwood. Manchester United has so many players in the team that I'm going to go over here right now on their squad, and Onana for me has to go. Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, they all got to go. Diego Dalot, I think he could stay. Matthijs de Ligt, Mazraoui could stay. Lisandro Martinez, I do like him. Malacia should go. Lenny Yoro can develop for United. And Dorgu, their new signing, which I'm going to talk about later on. See how he does. Christian Eriksen, he should leave. Casemiro should leave. Bruno Fernandes, maybe. Most likely stay because he is their captain. But he's not doing his job for me at the moment. Mason Mount has to go. Ugarte, I do like Ugarte. I feel like he can, he's been under Ruben Almiron at Sporting. Hopefully, Ugarte can be that CDM for Manchester United. Kobe Mainoo, generational talent. So you have to build a team around him, honestly. And you see here the forwards with Zirkzee, he has to go. Amadiallo, Højlund, and Garnacho. I'm a big fan of that three, especially Rasmus and Garnacho. I think Garnacho, for me, is United's most important player. I think he could be that big star. He can be that Saka to Arsenal. He can be that Phil Foden to City. He can be that, I guess, Salah to Liverpool. Garnacho, for me, is such an important player that he doesn't get his roses. People complain that he doesn't play as good. Sure, he has bad games, but so has this entire Manchester United team. They all had bad games. They're all playing terribly. They're losing week in, week out. So earlier in the season, blame Alejandro Garnacho is just not the way. If you're gonna blame one of them, blame the whole team, because the whole team is terrible. The whole team is terrible. So that was one thing about I didn't like how earlier in the season Manchester United, I guess, fans were doing. But and let's talk about their new signing with Patrick Dorgu from Leeds, and hopefully that can help Manchester United out. I can't say much about it because he's a 20-year-old youngster, a wing back, a left wing back, and you will see how he does for Manchester United. He's a good player. He's young, talented. Hopefully, for me, the Manchester United's issues, their wing back, left back situation. So I think that would hopefully help out Manchester United. I'm not a fan of Malacia, Luke Shaw. I'm just they're not fitting for me. And I think the Manchester United need to get rid of all this deadwood that they have. With stars like Marcus Rashford, leaving officially, joining Aston Villa. All these players in Manchester United camp looking like they're gonna leave and go somewhere else. It's just the whole camp situation is not good. Marcus Rashford joining Aston Villa, for me, I think Marcus Rashford hopefully could fix his career. Like in the past with Jesse Lingard joining West Ham, and also like Sancho joining Dortmund. So hopefully Marcus Rashford could gain his career back up at Aston Villa. I did think that he was going to join a team like an AC Milan, a PSG, a Borussia Dortmund. I was really surprised when people say like Barcelona. I just see him as in one of those teams that he can develop more and be a key part. So I don't think like Barcelona, he would really be a key player for Barca. I see him like I really did see him at PSG, but they did sign Kavicha, and he probably has, and they they have Barcola, Dembele, so I didn't really see him there. Dortmund, because Dortmund has been underperforming this season in the Bundesliga. I really did think that Marcus Rashford would join Dortmund, but now he's staying in England, so we'll see how Marcus Rashford does, because no one really hates Marcus Rashford. I really do like Marcus Rashford. It's just in the situation that he is in for Manchester United, it's just not good at the moment. And we can go back to the game here with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, they're no Newcastle, they're no Bournemouth, they're no Nottingham Forest. They were underperforming in the beginning of the season, but people were surprised. They signed a few players this summer, and it just hasn't really turned out the way for Crystal Palace. With who's their sign? Who's their sign? They signed Kamada from Frankfurt, and they're about to sign Ben Chilwell from Chelsea, and hopefully they can try to get back in form. They haven't lost a game yet in 2025. Actually, they have. They only have one. They've lost one game in 2025. So hopefully Crystal Palace can try to get back in form like as they were last season. Especially losing your best player, Michael Olise, and then there's Eze with injuries. It's hard for you to compete. Especially with all these teams performing out of their minds lately, hopefully, in this team there's talent. There's talent in this team. It's just this team's well organized. They just need to try to get into form, and hopefully towards second half of the season they can try to get in form. They're currently in 12th. They're not down there towards they're not really fighting relegation. They're fine with relegation, but if you want to try to break the top 10. Maybe even try to break a top 9, with Fulham. We'll see how Crystal Palace does, because they do have a surprise. They do have a really good team. But then that was pretty much it for a Manchester United 2-0 loss against Crystal Palace.